What's up, guys? Just give me a few minutes and then I'll jump on. Oh, great song. War is it good for absolutely nothing. What's up, guys? Trump strikes tonight. I mean, they just cleared out all the airspace. It's definitely possible. I don't know if it'll happen, but markets are definitely in a little chop mode here. Just give it a few minutes. Hit me with a couple retweets if possible, please. On the last tweet, would appreciate it. And we'll start in a few minutes. Um, we'll do some casino. We'll see. Maybe we'll just go through markets. We'll go through a couple things from the newsletter today. Um, Not much macro data coming up, which is a good thing. Means we'll see more of the same from markets. We'll probably just keep trending higher unless we hit some macro resistance like war in Iran, like just escalates and gets really aggressive. Um, but yeah, let's give it a few minutes for people to join. If you guys got questions, throw those questions in, and we'll go from there. Got some H2O. Ooh, little red candle on stocks. So just to give you guys an idea, we took a lot of profits in this range today. We've been long from the last stream 2 days ago. I think that was 91.35. This is very long 2 nights ago on stream. And we said we'll take profits at 98, but we kind of just sold at 97.5. I'm looking to rebid at 94 and a half, so kind of here. That's where I'm looking to buy again. I'm assuming all this um, Iran war drama definitely sends us lower. Even stocks looks in the same pattern right now, but basically hoping maybe we get a retest of this range. Ideally, I hope it's not a full reversal down here. Like that'd be pretty intense. I'm hoping it's just a retest here, but we'll see. We'll see what happens and how market goes. Um, Same on PayPay longs as well. That was a really good trade. That worked out really well. So where that was a big candle. We caught that whole candle on stream. So absolutely love that. I'm not sure where I'm gonna bid PayPay again. We'll see. Um, but definitely Bitcoin, I'm looking at 94 and a half. So 94.5 over there. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum got rejected at Brazil. It never even broke out, which kind of sucks. Like this is the range it's been in. You could even say that this is really the range. So it didn't even break out of this area, which is kind of shitty. So this could easily go back down here. But there's a big candle to go over. So I don't know, maybe 32.45 is a bid. Pretty tight bid, but we can try and go for that. I'm not too don't have much high conviction here. I'm more comfortable with the Bitcoin long at 94 and a half. See if we got Solana. Maybe I mean this really we didn't really break out of that 148, so this could easily go back all the way down to 133. Uh, um, Question is where do stocks go? Like, will stocks like go down here? I think that's the real issue. Like, that could get really scary really quickly. So Um, so we'll see. We'll keep an eye out and see what happens in that. Let's go over a couple of things. What's going on in the market, macro wise? We got yeah. We'll go over see a couple questions about silver and stuff. Yeah, we'll go over. Our other trade that we were looking at in last stream was copper. We bought options on this. Um, on CPER, or maybe that's not the right one. CPER, oh, sorry, this one. Okay, I'm hoping for 40. We bought call options for 40, so we'll see how that goes. But I kind of like I like being long this copper probably for a while. I think a 20% gold, 20% copper, 20% silver, 20% Bitcoin, and 20% Google is a really good portfolio um, for 2026 actually. Um, ooh, big dump on gold, overnight. Wow, look at that. Got on the back of all this Iran de-risk. Sure. Let's see how bad is silver. Maybe we'll get some nice. Ooh, look at that smash on silver. Maybe we'll get some nice opportunities to long. Maybe 83 if we get. I think I'll look to long that for sure. Definitely this range. I'll look to long by. I think we'll see some support in that 80s, low 80s range. So definitely long that. Look at that chart. But that's why I think copper is going to be like the really next big play. Quite bullish on that. Gold, I don't know where I would bid gold. Maybe at the bottom of this range, or like I don't know, some right here, 4,500, long or lower. Like I mean, this is a very short time frame. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be the first support. Maybe 43.80. Maybe 43.80 is where I bid gold. Silver, maybe $75. I'll wait for. Um, Bitcoin, like I said, I think I'm more bullish right now on crypto. But 94.5 is my stink bid. If we get there, we get there. Otherwise, I don't know. Definitely like being long copper. Uh, so that's good. I think that's going to hit 40 soon. Be really good. Yeah, a couple of things I wrote in the newsletter today. Um, I was looking at Pepe. Obviously, we broke out of that point oh 0.06, that was really good. Well, hopefully we stay in this range and we don't drop too much. I'm looking for point oh 0.07. We'll see if we get there. BTC, like I said, the big support zone is 88, 89. We broke out at that 92, 94 yesterday. I think as long as there's not too much pressure on the back of all this Iran war, I think it'll be okay. But we'll take a look. I think it's not going to be as easy as we take it to be. So I think it's going to take a little bit of work. Couple of things. So I see one thing people are talking about. Okay, check this out. So a couple of signals for war, right? So okay, so we already saw uh, Iran airspace has been cleared. You can see that all the Iran airspace has been cleared. So that's one sign that we might see some kind of movement happening soon. Um, but that also could just be that Iran itself is just like, yeah, we're going to clear everything out. Um, but you know what? The other great signal is uh, pizzas around the Pentagon are reporting above average traffic. Um, so all the like even the Domino's, some local pizza called Extreme Pizza. When these pizza places start seeing, that means that people are working overtime. They're ordering late pizza, like pizza for dinner. Means they're gonna be working at Pentagon, like on a late, like it's gonna be a late one, which means that they might be getting ready for an attack on Iran. So I think that's very interesting that that's kind of used as a signal. Um, and um, Freddy's which is a gay bar in out there that usually sees high traffic when nothing important is going on, is seeing no, there's like no live data, there's no traffic, there's nothing really going on. So no one's at the gay bars around the Pentagon. All the pizza shops are running high traffic. Very interesting. And so people are saying that, yeah, maybe we see an attack tonight or some point soon. Also, there was chatter that multiple Chinese aircraft have entered the closed Iranian airspace. Unsure what anything can happen. Check this out. Let's go on Polymarket and um, let's go on Polymarket and we're gonna see a couple things. Hold on. Uh, check this out. So okay, this I think is probably pretty low. Oh yeah, look at this. U.S. strikes Iran by Jan 14. So that's right now by midnight. It seems tough, but um, check this. Listen to this. A new account that was created 40 minutes ago placed a 160K bet on buying this. This is the only thing he's bought. Like $160,000 bet he bought yes. So he thinks before midnight there's going to be an attack tonight on Iran. Very interesting. Oh, he's still buying. He sized up pretty aggressively. Um, I mean, I think the better bet's probably just over here. Like the fact that there's $11 million of volume here. I mean, people are smashing this down. They're taking like this. No, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Let's see what the news is saying here. Okay, nothing really yet. Look at that volume, 11 million on Jan 14. Man, I think if you're gonna bet, give yourself the buffer. You still have pretty. I mean, yeah, you got if you buy this and it happens for in the next couple hours, this is gonna be an insane payout. Um, but this is probably a safer bet because if it's by this date, right? So I think you have a little bit more on your side. But very interesting. These are just look at this. By June 70, it's 70%. Like, I mean, I guess you could technically just take all of these if you're that confident. Will U.S. or Israel strike first? I mean, it'll be. I would think it should be U.S. I would assume. Wow, is that dropped? Oh, it dropped today. Well, look at the volatility on this chart. So when it dipped down to 50%, I mean, that would have been a great buy. Wow. Should have traded this. I mean, this could easily go higher, but this is mid range. So I don't think you can buy anything here. But if this thing dips again, there could be some action there. Very interesting. Let's see how markets are going. Bitcoin seems to be holding. Um, yeah, finding some support here. I think this is a good area. Like, if you really wanted to scalp, like a very short term, you probably could buy around here. I think there's a lot of action there. I did hear a lot about this Verizon wireless thing. Definitely a lot of potential there with something going on. Um, or it could just be just nonsense. I don't know why. How would Verizon shutting down East Coast America be a signal for something? Like, why do you think that's happening? Like, does that mean, like, what does that mean? Like, does that mean anything on your side or, um, I don't know, kind of unsure on what that really, comes down to. Um, Sorry, just checking the weekly wisdom chat, making sure any questions there are we have a very active Oh, that's a good point. Oh, so you think it's a hack on Verizon? Is Verizon bigger or T-Mobile bigger? Um, what's like the biggest one now? Let me check our. Look at how active the prediction market chat is. I mean, this thing is unreal. Really got to be. You guys really got to be on this, man. There's a lot of money to be made in prediction markets. Let's see. Any other questions on here? Oh, something cool. On Hyperliquid, uh, a BTC short whale just opened a $244 million long with an entry price of 96.3. So right here, yeah. So that's like if you want to scalp, like this is not like the worst place to scalp because like look, we're kind of at the short end of the stick. Like if we break here, then fine. Like we could like test down here, but this is actually not the worst area like around here too long if because the bullish trend unless something crazy macro wise happens. So um, he's got an ETH long as well. So he's got a 244 million BTC long. He just put. He's got an ETH long from around here, but he's got a Solana long at 146.9. So very interesting. I don't know if this guy knows anything. Um, Dead cat bounce? What do you mean? Like this whole thing is a dead cat bounce? No, there's volume behind all these big green moves. That cat bounce is like really just dumping, dumping, dumping. You see a little move up short term. I wouldn't really say any of this is a dead cat bounce. Or it could go lower, but there's a couple of big whales taking some pretty sizable positions. Um, Trying to think what else to talk about. I'm not longing here, but I'm saying that can be a scalp. I'm gonna try and be patient and try and buy it in this area over here if we get there, or maybe even 95.8. I don't know, but I think there's a lot of potential volatility with all this Iran stuff going on, and I'd rather just lock in some profits, especially because we had such a good trade. Like on the stream 2 days ago, we got in at a really good level, so. I don't want to, kind of let go of that. Um, but you know, we'll see. But yeah, no, for sure. Let's see what else. What the tar stuff. So it's a very interesting question. Okay, I keep getting asked this a lot. You know what my honest view is? I think it's a non-event. Like I think it literally does not matter. I could be wrong. Maybe we have some short-term volatility, but from like a proper from a market standpoint, I don't think anybody, no trader really cares about this tariff thing. Because even if they say no, it's just gonna get fought more in court. Like they'll counter, put a case up. Like it's just gonna get dragged on. And if they say yes, great. We are in status quo anyways. But if they say no, I think it's just gonna get fought. I think people are making a way bigger deal for this tariff stuff than it is. I really don't think it's a real mover, to be honest. Getting tired, boys. I don't think I have it in me to do a late one. That's for sure. Let's see what else can we look at. Any other questions you guys have? If not, I think I'm just gonna call it first, like a quick one. You know what? We could do some. We could do some gambling. If you guys want. let's uh, let's while we see if something happens with the markets or we get an Iran attack while we're on stream. I have like the news at the back, so we'll see. Maybe we'll just do some. Let's gamble a little bit. Why not? I don't know. I don't know what that is. Angster. Yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty right now. That's for sure. I thought we went from a lot of like macro uncertainty got figured out from like a data standpoint, like inflation. That worked out really well. To now we just are like, oh great, now we got to worry about Iran war, Middle East escalation. I mean, yeah, it's annoying. Oh, perfect. You know what? We got Daniel here. Actually, let's do that. We have Daniel. Yeah, I saw him in the chat. Um, Perfect. Let's do that. Um, yeah, Daniel, I sent a link in our group chat, in the Weekly Wisdom group chat. Use that link on StreamYard and you can hop on. Do you see it? Oh, I see you in here. I don't see. Are you? I'll add you to stage. So hold on. Wiz, would you buy physical gold? Yeah, I've been buying physical gold and silver publicly since like 2020. I literally gifted it for Christmas like a couple of years ago. All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have one of our key analysts from Weekly Wisdom come on here and go a little bit more into details from a technical analysis standpoint. Um, and give you guys some more color. I think that'd be very valuable because I'm not like a big TA guy. I try to just give more feel stuff, gut feeling stuff, and just patterns. But I think he'll be able to give you a little bit deeper view here. Let me okay, hold on. Let me do this.
Yo, what's going on, Wiz?
Hey, what's up, man? I can hear you perfect. All right, what charts do you want me to pull up here?
Either I can share my screen or you can pull
Are
up.
you allowed to? Yeah, you can share your screen. Go ahead.
Okay.
I didn't even know you could do that, so that's perfect.
Okay. I haven't used this platform, so I think I did it, but it's not coming up on the stream.
Yeah, I think maybe because you came in as a guest, maybe you can't. Oh wait, no, I see you. I see your thing. Hold on. Oh, I gotta remove. Hold on. I gotta stop sharing mine, and I think I can add yours. Oh, there you go.
All right, cool,
Okay,
cool.
cool. Do your thing.
All right, yeah, I'll probably just cover the majors, Bitcoin,
Yeah.
ETH, and Sol, and then we can go from there. Maybe I'll go over a couple of the newsletter ideas that I put out this week. But yeah, we can do that. So you were talking about the Iran conflict and stuff like that. So I do think that we're seeing some sort of resistance here. We're hitting on Bitcoin. Bitcoin, my main local target was 98, around 98K. And so we're kind of nearing that point. Really what I wanted to talk about was this sort of rising wedge. I was streaming in Weekly Wisdom earlier on the edge. And this is some of the stuff I talked about over there. We have a little bit more data to work with now. It's been about 3 hours since I got off that stream. So yeah, we broke out of this rising wedge. So the main two resistance levels that I was watching in the short term was 94,600 and this rising wedge resistance as well. So yesterday we had a pretty strong push. We saw some short liquidations across the board. and we rejected that upper resistance of that rising wedge, and we came back. So we broke over that 94.6. We rejected that rising wedge resistance, and then we came back and formed some support at that 94,600 level, and then took off here towards that 98K with, looks to be a more sustainable breakout over that rising wedge resistance. So this could be a little bit more sustainable pump than we've seen pretty much everything being retraced during this consolidation. So I think this is going to be a little bit more sustainable. A couple of things that I'm looking for is a retest of that rising wedge resistance that we broke out of earlier today. So if we were to bounce, I think we kind of leak below this local range and then, stop some people out right around here and probably bounce around here around like 95,750, give or take. If we don't see any substantial reaction at that level, we'll come back to that 94.6, and maybe there we see a more sustainable bounce. But I do think it's possible. What I think is more likely at this point in time is that we come to that local it was a rising wedge resistance. So I think we'll come here and bounce from here and maybe sweep that 98K. I was expecting maybe we kind of trend up right from here to that 98K and then get a rejection. And then my next level was around 93,500. So, but if we don't see any sort of substantial bounce at these two levels around 95,500 and 94.6, I do think that 93.5 is the main level that we'll bounce from, create a little higher low. I do want to say on Bitcoin, though, if we do get some sort of attack in Iran, U.S. attacks or something like that, and we have a pretty aggressive reaction or something like that, I do want to mention that 88,100 level. Actually, that is a CME gap. So I can go over here, pull up the CME chart, and as you can see, we still have that. We did not fill that 88,100 gap. So we've kind of just been floating along here, and then we moved up from that 90,500. That 90,500 was the main level I was looking for Bitcoin to hold during payrolls on Friday. So we did hold that level. A bunch of people in Weekly Wisdom longed from that level. I believe, Wiz, you were long as well. So yeah, we got a nice move, and now we have a gap here at the 94.40 level. 94,440. We still have that gap. So I think this will probably be the main level of resistance. We fill that gap. Main level of support. We fill that gap and probably bounce around here. This was a range high for quite some time. We saw 1, 2, 3 rejections of that range high around 94,000. And then we formed a CME gap. I believe it was 2 days ago. So we still have to fill that gap, in my opinion, before we head higher. So maybe 94 and then 90, 98, 99. And then ultimately, if we come back to this Bitcoin chart, ultimately, I do think if we maintain this local trend, we'll probably head up to that 105 level. But that would be a level that I'm kind of, thinking, should I short here? Should I stay long or what? But that 105 level is potential to roll over and kind of form a right shoulder. So we have a pretty clear head and shoulders going on here. It would take a lot to invalidate kind of a bearish bias, once we get towards that 100K level. But it's possible we just continue up, form higher lows until, all-time high. But I think that's a little bit less likely than if we were to come to that 105 and kind of roll over, come back. Maybe if we go right from this area where we are now, kind of trend up to that 105, maybe come back and test that breakout around 98K. So if we can break that 98K, I'm thinking 105. And if we hit 105 and reject, we'll probably come back and test that 98K level one more time. So that's pretty much all I have for Bitcoin. But Yeah, ETH. I don't really have too much to say on ETH. Again, similar kind of view on ETH. These are weak lows here. And yeah, I do think if Bitcoin moves up towards that 105, we'll probably see around 3,600, 3,700 on ETH. And I'm looking to potentially short at that level, similar to Bitcoin. So, a lot has to happen. We'll have to get some sort of reaction from that level. But if we come over here on Bitcoin and we check out last bear market, we had a similar kind of rising channel before breaking down further into the bear. So that's kind of what I was identifying here with this rising channel. So we kind of came up to the top of the range, which would be around 102, 105. And then we saw a rejection. So we saw a bearish engulfing on that 3-day chart. And that's something I'll be looking for before entering any sort of short position, is like a firm rejection where we see, like any high time frame bearish engulfing candle after we reject that 105, 102, give or take. So there is potential for us to continue into a bear market. We are in a bullish kind of local trend here, but I do think that, especially over here on ETH, we saw a very similar pattern here over on ETH in the bear market, heading into the bear market last year. So if we come over here and bring this sort of range over here, this lines up pretty much identically with what's going on here. So yeah, so we made that initial high, we swept the highs, right? So we made the initial high, swept the highs. A little bit cleaner price action on Bitcoin. It's a little bit more identical to last bull heading into the bear. But I do think that, if we sweep these highs here around 3,800, that could be a good short entry there. But again, we could just come up here and not get any sort of real rejection and kind of base around here, around 3,700, and continue higher. It's totally possible. But I did want to mention that as a possible scenario. I do think that's, likely. I'm not going to say very likely, but again, these are weak lows. These were weak lows over here. And, at a zoomed out kind of, on a zoomed out time frame, looking at the entire chart, it's hard to ignore the similarities here, right? If we came up to this upper range, it's very likely we get a similar rejection as we did over here. Especially with that 3-day bearish engulfing that we saw here, that kind of confirmed a rejection of that upper range. So if we can confirm a rejection of this upper range over here with a similar candle, bearish engulfing, that might pose a good short entry, right? So, but I'm waiting for confirmation. I'll need to see, a high time frame rejection of that 3,800, 3,700 range, and then I'll enter a short shortly after that. But if we reclaim that 3,700, consolidate up here, I do think it's possible that we move up from there. Solana, low time frame. I was looking at this earlier. We were just streaming, and we were considering a short entry there. Kind of got away from us, and I think the downside is kind of limited at this point for a short. So, but again, if we zoom out here to the daily time frame, we have similar upside here as we do on Bitcoin and ETH in the short term. So I do think it's possible that at the very least, I think we come and get that 153 and eventually those, like the mid 160 range. But yeah, we can see a pretty clear power of three formation here. We have the accumulation here, we have the manipulation, and we have a distribution phase kind of that we're playing out right now. So again, we're at that top. We're at the top of the range here at that 145 level, which I've had for weeks. I didn't talk about this in the newsletter. I didn't write about Solana this week, but I did write about some altcoins here. I can go over those briefly, but one of the main altcoins that I am interested in is Chainlink, right? We had a nice outperformance period about 7 months ago in off these lows. We longed around $11.70, $12 was kind of where we got in. We held that position for the most part up into this $21 level. I think that was our main TP around 21. We didn't get all the move here, right? It moved about 120% off the lows, but we did catch a majority of the move, and then we actually shorted around 24 here, and then we sold around, or we covered around $21. But I do think that this is a position that we can see outperform Bitcoin. So if we come over and look at the Link BTC chart, so this is Link against Bitcoin, we can see that we are potentially forming the first higher low on the high time frame since about 2020, since we were in this massive uptrend where Link was massively outperforming Bitcoin. Obviously, it's an altcoin, so that is going to be a short period of outperformance for the most part. But we saw some of those periods here, and this was the period that we caught. So we were talking about Link PTC back in around May or June, and that was when we were kind of scaling into those longs on Link, and we caught a nice move to the upside. So I think there's a possibility that we see. So basically, this whole downtrend we've seen lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? Lower low here, lower high, and now I think we have a potential to form a higher low for the first time, since this downtrend started. So something to keep an eye on. Not crazy conviction on this, but if we do start to see a move up here, I would not turn a blind eye. I would focus on Chainlink. But again, that's a lot of things have to happen for that to occur, and that means that we have to continue up into this bull market further. Bitcoin 150K plus. But then I think if that happens, we'll get a period of outperformance on Link, and that puts us $40, $50, $60. All-time highs around $50. So for my long-term traders who like to buy a bag and just hold, I think this is a reasonable play here on Chainlink. I can talk about Hype. If you guys have any tickers you want me to cover too in the chat, we can pull those up and get going.
Don't need to give too much there. Got save some of these bullets.
Yeah,
that was a lot. Damn, great color on a lot of these majors, especially that Ethereum chart was nice. Bitcoin chart, yeah, I agree. Ethereum chart looks like it's very. It didn't even really break out from its, even from this range that it's been in for the last like a month and a half. Like Bitcoin broke up, but it looks like Ethereum, Solana kind of all got rejected. Most alts, other than maybe Monero and stuff, like kind of got rejected at right, like at like their local high of the range.
Yeah, it looks like Bitcoin is the only one that really broke that clear upper range where that was around 94.6.
What do you see as a retest on Bitcoin there, potentially?
So I see if we get below that 94.6, I see 93.5 as a
okay. Level. Yeah, 94.6, 94.5 is what I was looking to bid. That touches the bottom of the top of that top line and maybe retests. As long as there's not much macro resistance, it's possible we retest there and then take off, and then maybe at 90, maybe at 100K, we see altcoins, or at least Ethereum and Solana and Link break out, because none of them really broke out. Like Solana got to 148, but it was at 148 like a couple days ago, like even 2 days ago. So it's really just really Bitcoin's the only one. And then obviously some orthogonal stuff like Monero and stuff's obviously breaking out. I mean, that's just been up only, I think, Monero. But
yeah, we can cover Monero too. I want to take a look at that chart.
Yeah, let's take a look at Monero. That's been a big one.
But yeah, Sol has still yet to break out of that 145. That was kind of the upper range. ETH, again, still hasn't really broken from that range. But yeah, Bitcoin is really the only one that's done that. And if we do come down from here, or we sweep that 98K and then come down after that, Again, that 94.4 is the CME gap. So I think that would be like a local support. Kind of lines up
Oh,
with this
yeah. That lines
90.
up pretty-
Yeah, kind of lines up with that 94.6 level. And that 93.5, we might kind of leak into that. Maybe we wick down to that 93.5 or something like that, liquidate
Yeah.
some bulls, and then head up from there. But yeah, that lines up nicely with that 94.4. That's a CME gap on Bitcoin futures. So something to keep an eye on. I do think that before we, head up substantially into the trend further, like before we get to 105, I do think that at least a retest of 94,400, fill the CME gap, form some support, and then go up from there. I think that's logical. But yeah, let's take a look at XMR. So yeah, writing that privacy narrative, obviously with the Zcash team, I think they broke up or something like that. This was, the next best ticker. I believe XMR is the true privacy coin of what I've heard. I mean, I'm not huge into the tech, on that side of things. But yeah, definitely seeing a nice move here from lower 400s up basically right to 800, almost a 100% move in like a week. So that is quite a chart. Reminds me of that silver chart. If you look at the all-time chart, kind of just a massive cup and handle, right, and an eventual breakout. If you look at silver, right. So zoom out all the way, right? Massive cup and handle with that breakout. So, so XMR, I don't know how long this will trend for, but, technically speaking, along here isn't, the smartest thing, but it could definitely go higher from here. But if we were to kind of roll over here, the chart like this doesn't really follow technicals to a T, but the next technical resistance is that breakout level around 500. So, if you get there and see a substantial reaction there, that's a, conviction moment. So if we get down there, that could be a good play. But, I think this trade is kind of far gone in terms of longs. But yeah, crazy move here. I don't know if there's any other tickers. Yeah, Monero in chat.
I think let's call it for today.
It's cool with me.
Yeah, it's been a late one. Let's. I think we should. I think either tomorrow or day after. Maybe unless like there's actually a war, then let's stream tomorrow and go over a couple more things. If not, let's do. We'll come back on Friday and go over a bunch of stuff, and maybe we can get Daniel some lights in his room so it's not so dark. It's so dark, but I can barely. You got black shirt too. Can barely see.
Yeah.
I watched like our Clippers. That's the first thing they're gonna say. Like that's what they used to say to me. They were like, "Yo, you need to get like lights, like right, like in my other streaming area, like I have lights right behind here, like just blasting on me." I guarantee you, Drew's gonna say something in the chat about it. Like it's way too dark. But all right, let's call it for today. It was great. Thank you to Daniel, one of our chief analysts at Weekly Wisdom. Great color. I hope you guys took down notes. We gave a lot of levels as well. And then, we'll come back on Friday, probably during maybe like 11:30 or something. Hopefully we can have Daniel come back and go over markets, a couple of majors, technical analysis done as well. We'll not do any casino stream tonight. We'll save that for Friday, and we'll give a bunch of money away then too. But in the meantime, thanks to everyone, and thanks to Daniel. Everyone have a great night.
All right. Thanks for having me on, Wiz.
Thanks, man.
Have a good night, guys.